And there it is. You are looking at Dub Ferris Stadium. It opened up in 2003 and holds more than 11,000 people. You can really see the action and the lights as cars pass by on 1604. This place has seen so many great battles in the 22 years it's been standing. And tonight will no doubt be another great contest for the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic.
All right, here are the Sotomayor Wildcats. They arrived about an hour ago. They came down from Shanefield Road, then up 1604 to Ferris Stadium, about a 15-minute drive from campus. Now, Sotomayor has won the season opener for 2 straight years, including last year's win over Clark 33-10. In a matter of hours, we'll see if they can do it again. And there they are, the Clark Cougars. They were the first to arrive around 4:30 this afternoon. The Cougars left campus off De Zavala, traveled up I-10, then down 1604, about a 12-minute ride from school. Ferris is neutral ground for today's game, folks. Clark has lost the season opener the last 2 years, and they are looking to snap that losing streak tonight. Let's go, baby. Good evening, everyone, and welcome live to KSAT Game Day as we get you ready for the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. I am Larry. She is Mary, and we are ready for another season of big game coverage. We have 5 games on the schedule for you tonight, including the KSAT Pigskin Classic. And if history tells you the KSAT Pigskin Classic delivers instant classics, Larry, I mean close games, and we tell you every year this game just means a little bit more to these players. Oh, and I'll tell you what, man, my juice is flowing right now because I just love the fact that we are ready to go. So let's continue our pregame show with a look at both schools tonight and what's been building up for the kickoff of the 2025 high school football season.
Good.
Last year, Sotomayor had its best season in its young history, making it to the second round of the playoffs. This senior class is the first group to have been in the Wildcats program for all 4 years. There's 27 seniors leading the squad. So what's new behind the scenes for Sotomayor?
We've got a new offensive coordinator. We were really run-oriented, which we kind of will still be. With the offensive lineman challenges comes the challenge of not having a tight end, a true tight end. And so we're trying to make a little bit of an adjustment in terms of see if we can kind of make defenses play from sideline to sideline.
We were on hand for the Meet the Wildcats pep rally recently. It's great seeing the community come out to show support for the student athletes. Now, the Sotomayor football team is predicted to finish third in 28-6A, right behind Brennan and Harlan. But the road to winning district and making a playoff run begins with the KSAT Pigskin Classic.
It feels good. I feel like it's good pressure. I feel like we needed this as a team so we can grow and we can get used to things like this. So I'm pretty excited to play in the Pigskin Classic.
It means a lot. They wear the same colors as us, so I mean that's also a competition. Who has the better colorway, who puts it on better, who looks better.
I like the pressure. I like to feel that. So I'm thinking we're getting really excited, and then I think it's gonna be great to play Clark first game of the season.
Good job, gentlemen. The Clark Cougars want to start the season with a big win Thursday night. Starting the season strong sets the tone for what they hope will be a 3rd straight year qualifying for the playoffs. The Cougars finished 1 game above 500 last year, 4-3 in District 27-6A, but came up short in a first-round playoff matchup against Harlan. The playoffs are expected now, and Clark wants to take a step forward with the experience of the 2025 squad.
We talk about a championship mentality, a championship mindset where we focus on the process rather than looking at the long term. So for them, yes, it was satisfaction in terms of finally getting to that spot that they've been working toward. And now we're working on a consistency of that.
Clark is predicted to finish 4th in district behind Johnson, Reagan, and Brandeis, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. The Cougars have 30 returning lettermen, including 8 starters on offense and 8 on defense. However, all predictions go out the window once kickoff arrives. And what better way to prove the doubters wrong than winning the KSAT Pigskin Classic?
They're a great team, so it's going to be a great challenge, us going against them, and they're from the across district, and they're a playoff team, so it's going to be a great challenge to see where we're standing at the beginning of the season.
They're really a great team. They're a good playoff team, and we're really excited to start our season off that way. We're focused one day at a time, getting ready for that.
And what's it going to be like for you to start the year on television?
It's great. It's exciting always, get people seeing your game. So it's exciting for sure. We're not thinking too much of it, but focus on the game right now.
Make sure you burn. Make sure you burn.
Heck yeah, starting the season on TV rocks, man. Here is your matchup. The Sotomayor Wildcats and the Clark Cougars. Kickoff is about 30 minutes away. You can see this game live here on KSAT 12, KSAT Plus, the Big Game Coverage app, and KSAT.com. Mary Rominger will have highlights tonight on the Night Beat and more highlights from around the city as the first night of high school football gets underway. And that is going to do it for me here at the desk, everybody. Mary's going to take over now because I have to go upstairs to the press box to get ready to call the game with the one and only Hector Ledesma.
Well, good luck to you and Hector, Larry.
I appreciate it.
And when we come back, I take things over from here and we show you what's in store for the first Friday night of big game coverage and a whole lot more. The KSAT Pigskin Classic 2025 returns after the break.
Hi, we're the Sotomayor cheerleaders.
You're watching the KSAT Pigskin Classic
On KSAT 12.
and we'll be right back.
Let's go Wildcats! We're the Clark cheerleaders and you're watching the KSAT Pigskin Classic on KSAT 12. Go Cougars!
Welcome back to the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. Now, every team in our area has been working hard to try and make the playoffs, make a deep playoff run at that, and of course win a hopeful state championship. And out in Spring Branch, the Smithson Valley Rangers are working hard to defend their state championship.
The 5A Division I football state champs, the Rangers of Smithson Valley High School.
The Smithson Valley Rangers won their first state title right before Christmas last year. It's something head coach Larry Hill has been chasing for years. The Rangers won the Class 5A Division I state championship title by defeating Dallas Highland Park 32-20. And that state title recognition sure does look good up on that board at Ranger Stadium. So how does it feel being defending champs heading into the 2025 season?
And when it originally happened, it felt like we would never get over it, but now it's kind of like it was all great and all, but it's time to move on.
It's definitely a surreal feeling. It's something that nobody's ever felt around here, and I feel like the community either. And it's something that I think we want to defend and try to go back for, but we have to take it week by week.
I mean, we've been prepared since spring ball for this new year. I mean, we understand that we have a lot of expectations coming off the state run, of course, last year, but now we're just ready to get our heads down and get to work in this year.
Well, no matter what happened a year ago, whether you had a disappointing end or in our case, elation there at the end, there is a reset. You start again. I mean, it's a new set of faces, and even guys who are coming back have different roles in some cases, replacing leaders. There's just a reset, and so we're not really spending any time. We're proud of what has happened, but we're not spending any time rehashing it.
Such an amazing time, and it felt like we'd never get over it, and we'd be so happy about it. But now it's showing up this early in the morning, and it's kind of making me realize we got to go. We got a new season. We got a whole new story.
Can't wait to see what Smithson Valley does this year. All right, here is the schedule for week 1 of big game coverage on your Thursday night. Churchill versus Stevens goes down at Gustafson Stadium. Pleasanton takes on Highlands at Alamo Stadium. Then Judson and Johnson face off at Rutledge Stadium. Of course, your KSAT Pigskin Classic. Clark versus Sotomayor here at Ferris Stadium. McCollum takes on Southstand at South Stand Stadium. And Marshall squares off against Laredo Alexander. All those games kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. And here is our featured matchup this week for week 1 of big game coverage. Our game of the week, Brennan versus Reagan. They kick off at Hero Stadium tomorrow. And then our road trip for week 1 takes you to the Texas Hill Country. Del Rio is at Kerrville-Tivy. Pettis is at Center Point, and Brackett is at Comfort. Can't wait for those games. Now here's a programming note for you all. 12's Top 12, our weekly rankings. We show you that every Monday on KSAT Sports Now and at 6 o'clock in our newscast. Best of BGC will now air every Monday on KSAT Sports Now and the Night Beat. And our BGC Friday Night Recap. This is a new streaming show for you guys following the Night Beat on Friday nights, where we give you more high school football to watch. So lots of good stuff coming for you guys this upcoming fall. Now after the break, we'll take you around the stadium here at Ferris Stadium with Myra, Ernie, Adam, and Jaffney. So stay with us. Our coverage of the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic continues after the break.
right, we are now 15 minutes from kickoff here for the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. The teams have warmed up. They are now back in the locker room getting that pregame speech. I am sure that all leading up to this moment, you know, that's what these kids, they put so much hard work in the dead of summer to get prepared for this season, and it all kicks off in just a minute.
We mentioned earlier both of these teams made it to the playoffs last year, so obviously that's the goal they want to repeat this year. But really, what a great setting here for the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. Ferris Stadium here on the north side, which has seen tremendous growth in recent years. Sotomayor, of course, a product of that growth, built about 4 years ago. And then Northside ISD kicked in millions of dollars worth of bond money not too long ago to upgrade the video boards and the audio and everything. So really just, other than not having a roof on here, which would be nice right now, it's a beautiful scene for tonight's game.
Yeah, you know, we're not taking a side tonight, but we are on the home side, and I got to tell you, that is the place to be.
The shaded side.
The shaded side. That is the place to be. And the really cool thing about the Pigskin Classic, as we've been doing throughout the last hour and our 5 o'clock show, is we talk about what's going on at these schools outside of just the football stadium, outside of the football program. There are so many different clubs and activities, really something for every kid to be involved in and be proud of, which is a really cool thing that we get to highlight through all of this.
I know Justin Horn was talking about the ROTC program, Sarah Costa about gardening, Jaffney. We've been having a really good time just profiling both teams and both schools and their student bodies. Have a lot to be proud of.
Absolutely. And Adam Caskey is out here with us, and he is quite proud of the new cannon that he has here with a shiny new coat of red paint. He's fired it off, and I think he's accomplished his goal there, Adam.
Oh yeah, I basically hit the press box earlier. That's my ultimate goal. Now I want to give you a quick little weather update because I always travel with my handy dandy Kestrel, which is an all-in-one, very accurate, highly calibrated weather device. And right now it's measuring 96.6 degrees, so we'll call it about 97, 96.7. And not only that, we have a dew point out here right now of 68.4, so we'll call it 68. So the feels like temperature is probably 103 right now here at field level. Love my weather devices. All right, now it's t-shirt time. All right, I'm gonna juice it up just a little bit more. We have a bunch of them packed on in there. Let's give it a little more energy. All right, t-shirt time. Always start off by throwing a few. Just throw a few. And now, here we go, come on. All righty, 3, 2, 1. That's pretty good. I'm hitting the back bench. And then you just do it backwards like this. So it's random. But we got boxes and boxes of these, and yes, we will be working the Clark side too, just waiting for the game to start and the sun to get a little bit lower, and then we'll be on the other side. I tell you, I get a lot of steps in on these Pigskin Classics and get my workout in doing this, running around the field. All right, we're gonna go to break. We'll be right back with a little bit more, and we're gonna reload the canyon and have some fun tonight.
Welcome back to Ferris Stadium. We are getting closer to kickoff, and the Clark Cougars just won the coin toss. All right, high school football is a lot of fun, we all agree, but it's also a time to remember player safety and those who have been injured on the football team. We're talking right now about Gridiron Heroes, a local nonprofit organization. They help athletes who suffer from catastrophic spinal cord injury through activities associated with high school football. They operate through private contributions, and your help can really make a difference, especially in a struggling economy.
Last year we had 3 spinal injuries in football season just in Texas alone. We actually donated our 17th wheelchair accessible vehicle to a young man in Houston. Once you start doing something like that and providing funds for a vehicle like that, it takes a lot of our funds away. So we try to have to kind of like start all over again each year to raise money.
When we go to visit them, we try to see what they need financially and basically to see how the living situation is going to be, if they need stuff to get fixed up in the house, and just stuff that Medicaid and Medicare won't pay for. Also, like funding to try to get them a van, because being locked in your house all day long and not being able to go out is really hard. I mean, a lot of people found out how it was during COVID. And that's basically the isolation that we go through if you don't have a vehicle to get out. So, I mean, funding is very important.
Well, it's important to get involved and help out when you can. Use the QR code on your screen to learn more about Gridiron Heroes and how to help out. We'll be right back to wrap up our pregame show. Before we wrap things up, remember, you can get more sports coverage Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock with KSAT Sports Now, streaming live on KSAT.com and KSAT Plus. And starting Friday nights during the high school football season, we'll live stream right after the night beat for more big game coverage, so make sure you join us for that. And here it is again, your matchup for the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic, Sotomayor versus Clark. That's next right here on KSAT 12. This should be another fun KSAT Pigskin Classic. And that's going to do it for your pregame show here at Ferris Stadium. Larry Ramirez and Hector Ledesma will take you the rest of the way. Remember, you can watch highlights of the Pigskin Classic and other games from around the city tonight on the Night Beat, so we'll see you there. Until then, enjoy the game, everyone.
$250 days. That is how long it's been since we've seen live high school football in this great state. We snapped that streak tonight right here on the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic, brought to you by Krista's Children. A fantastic matchup between two teams ranked in the KSAT 12 poll, Clark and Sotomayor. Two teams coming in off playoff seasons, both looking to get back into the postseason. With KSAT 12 Sports Director Larry Ramirez, Hector Ledesma, and Larry, this one should be a lot of fun. Two teams that again have playoff aspirations, and a lot of folks would say have a good shot of getting back.
Absolutely. I mean, I love it that this is a 27-6A versus a 28-6A
Right.
team. Absolutely love that. And yes, I mean, Clark, of course, wants to get a little revenge after losing to Soto last year, but when you look at their rosters top to bottom, these two teams are very talented indeed, and both expect to make a postseason run.
Let's send it to our third man here on our on-air broadcast crew, RJ Marquez, rolling the sidelines. RJ, what you got down there, buddy?
All right, guys, a lot of excitement down on the field. Obviously, it is hot, so we're dealing with some of the temperatures. Sotomayor being the home team, they are in the cool, if you want to call it that, on the stands right now. And we have the Clark Cougars who are on the opposite end with the sun coming in. But, guys, just the excitement level is pretty palpable down here on the field. We have got all these kids excited, a lot of these fans excited, and a lot of folks coming into the stadium that were really hyped up about the start of the high school football season. Cannot wait. It should be a good matchup. Again, two Northside schools. Obviously, they play in separate districts, but this is going to be a great sort of tune-up matchup, if you will, a rematch from last year when Sotomayor beat Clark. So I'll send things back up to you guys in the booth. Larry, Hector, my guys, we're ready to go. Texas high school football season is back, baby.
RJ may have an issue trying to stay cool. He has no issue looking cool, though, with those shades.
No one rocks some. Dang, RJ,
and take a look on the field. Clark has made its way onto the field. Sotomayor making its way onto the field through their inflatable. But let's first touch on those Clark Cougars. They're the official visitors tonight.
Okay.
Although both share this Ferris Stadium field, both Northside ISD schools. The impact players for the Clark Cougars, let's go through 5 of them, Larry.
Okay.
And it starts with a kid who a lot of folks say is one of the better running backs in all of San Antonio. Guy by the name of Xavier Cannabis. He can go, and he's got more than 1,400 yards coming back. Elijah Johnson, Isaiah Santillan, kind of a 3-headed monster for them that's coming back. Dom Moore and Michael Wankwo, a huge defensive edge. Both the bat guy is back as well as returning starter, and those the 5 for Larry.
I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to watching this number 45 linebacker, Michael Wankwo for Clark. 29 tackles total last season, but he had 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 17 quarterback hits, Hector.
A young man who is getting looks by everybody, including UTSA, right here at home. You see the Sotomayor Wildcats making their way through. A look at their impact players, and they've got several of them as well. For them, it starts with their quarterback, Chauncey Moon, but they've also got Xavier Victor, Elijah McAdory, Aaron Adejobi, and Manny Gutierrez, Larry.
Chauncey Moon, one of the best QBs in the area, had 11 touchdown passes last season. He had 634 yards in the air, almost 900 rushing, and 9 touchdowns. Coach Morales is really high on this young man.
Now, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, both are coming off playoff appearances. For Sotomayor, they went 2 rounds deep, had a first-round game against Churchill, able to win that game. And then in the second round, they lost to Austin Vandergrift. Well, all they did was go on and win the state championship. Sure. So not bad company there in terms of who you're hanging with. For Clark, squeaked into the playoffs, and then once they got there, they ran into a very, very tough Harlan team.
They did.
Harlan, a team that's going to beat a lot of folks whenever they line up. And so both these programs, again, looking to get back to that postseason. And we talked about how they're both Northside ISD schools, but they're in different districts, Larry, because that Northside ISD just so huge. They had to do something about moving some of those schools over, and so some of them play with the Northeast ISD schools, Madison, Reagan, Johnson, and the lot. A couple of those schools, including Clark, are in that bunch.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a fascinating matchup. I love what you're talking about, Hector, and I'm just so excited, man.
We are stoked. I mean, no better way than to begin 2025. You see the color guard. It is the Sotomayor JROTC color guard that is on the field. We are getting set for the national anthem here momentarily as we get set for the opening Thursday of the 2025 season. If tomorrow is the main course, Larry, we're happy to bring you the appetizer tonight here on a Thursday night, again, on the KSAT Pigskin Classic.
And I'll tell you what, the KSAT Pigskin Classic, this is our 4th annual. The first 3 years we have had fantastic games. Some of them, a lot of them actually going down to the wire.
And we pause now for the playing of our national anthem. The Sotomayor JROTC color guard making its way off the field following the playing of the national anthem. As we get set for the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. On the way next, guess what? It's Clark, it's Sotomayor, it's high school football back right here from Ferris Stadium. Clark and Sotomayor about to kick from Ferris Stadium. The Clark Cougars wearing their road white uniforms, white jerseys, white pants. Sotomayor, the gray on gray, the official home team here at Ferris Stadium. Now the Cougars won the coin toss. They have elected to receive the ball in the second half. And so with that, we are set to go. A brand new kicker in the fold for Clark. Young man named David Sim, wears number 17, pressed into duties because they had a couple of good kickers who graduated from a year ago, but both gone due to graduation. And so David Sim handling duties. Here we go, underway, 20-25, low kick, takes a bounce, headed into the end zone. It dives it right around the 2. That's where it's taken, across the 10, or maybe not even to the 10. Good special teams play for the Clark Cougars right out of the gate. And Sotomayor, Larry, having to start from deep inside its own territory.
Yeah, that was a great way to stop from them trying to return the ball. Special teams, you know, is always going to be a big factor in this game.
Bryce Coleman on the return gets to the 9. And as we told you before kickoff, Sotomayor led by a young man named Chauncey Moon.
Chauncey Moon.
Junior, returning as a starting quarterback, and as a sophomore, all he did was rush for nearly 900 yards and throw for nearly 700 yards. Here he is in shotgun formation. He's got twins to his both sides as Sotomayor begins to run the first play from scrimmage here in 2025.
Here we go.
Team that likes to spread things out is Sotomayor, and a flag before we get things going here in the new year. Have an eye on the play clock. Yep. I think I jinxed him, Larry, singing his praises. And he goes, oh yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah. Hector, why are you talking about me that way so nicely?
869 yards rushing to be exact for Mr. Moon last year. 9 touchdowns on the ground. 696 through the air to go with 11 touchdowns in that form. Here's the first snap at 20-25. He keeps on the RPO up the middle. Not a whole lot doing, not even back to the original line of scrimmage.
Now the Cougars defense, they were definitely ready for that play.
It's a Cougar D that's led by Xavier Redding, Ezekiel Zurita, Kanan Newble. Those are the guys up front. We've talked about Michael Wankwo. He's an edge guy, so he's a linebacker officially, but number 45, they'll bring him up and show rush. Jerry Brightwell, a linebacker, as is Aidan O'Donnell. Dom Moore rounding out the linebacking crew. The quarterbacks, Carlos Camarillo, Eli Abad, Braden Black, and Brett Garza, the safeties for the Clark Cougars. Give up the middle, good gain across the 15, and the first play of positive yardage for Sotomayor here in 2025.
I like the way the offensive line got a good hole for him on that play, Hector, and that's exactly what they needed because they are underneath the shadow of their own goalpost there for a minute.
Yeah, didn't get touched till he got about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, so a good give brings up second and third, I should say, 3rd and 2, and very manageable for Sotomayor here in the early going. We're just underway, 10:38 and ticking left in the opening quarter. Moon will keep. Across the right side, that's a good choice because he gets enough for a first down across the 20.
You know, Coach Morados was telling us that Chauncey Moon is a shifty quarterback, and we saw it right there on that play.
Don't be surprised to see a lot of different Sotomayor Wildcats get their hands on the ball. This is what, to Larry's point, Coach Morales talked about during the week. They have a lot of guys who can go, and so a lot of guys are going to get some reps. So keep your eye on the backfield. It's going to be a rotating room as Moon, again, stands in shotgun formation. He gives right side to the 35, the 30 across. Met there by a couple of defenders. Dom Moore for the stop, but not until a good gain that brings up second and very short.
You know, Coach is also saying that Xavier Victor is shifty and he's explosive, and he showed his shiftiness on that play for sure.
Victor, a young man who comes off a year in which he rushed for 340 yards, scored a touchdown on the ground last year, also caught 5 passes for 90 yards and scored a touchdown that way. 394 total yards for Xavier Victor last year. Got in the end zone 2 times across the end. Across the 45, toward the 45, a good gain for Elijah McAdory on his first touch. Another first down for the Wildcats. Credit Eli Abad with the tackle for the Cougars. Good room there, Larry, around that left side. McAdory smooth sailing once he got past that original crease.
Yes, picked up a couple of big blocks there that sprung him free on the outside.
Ball at the 44. Sotomayor, a good drive to open tonight's ball game. Off the shotgun, another give across midfield. Again, the Clark defense stiffens there, but not until Sotomayor gets another good gain. And so you see the Wildcats, every time they're touching the ball, that offensive line exploding up front. Good cushion for their backs. Devin Dianda, the left tackle. Julian Morquecho, the left guard. The center is Eduardo Martinez Alfonseca. Tristan Bergeron, the right guard. Curtis Bugsby, the right tackle. Angel Ramirez plays tight end for the Cats. Benjamin Gomez Zolo, the fullback. We've seen Xavier Victor in the backfield, and of course Chauncey Moon under center. That the starting 11 along with Xavier Victor and the receivers for those Sotomayor Wildcats. Moon again across the middle, and again they move the sticks.
Moon lowered his head, and he bullied number 61 on defense right there.
Amari Baum and Elijah McAdory rounding out that starting 11 for the Cats. They're now at the Clark 41 and moving with patience. Offensive coordinator James McCall, nice mix here, running right, running left, having Moon hand off, having Moon keep. It's been working. 7:30 and counting here in quarter number 1. Handoff up the middle. Again, it's Xavier Victor. Again, Victor for positive yardage. Every time he's touching the ball, Larry, without fully realizing it, you look up, hey, he's 5 yards down the field, 6 yards down the field.
Yeah, again, he's shifty. He seems like he just has a nose of where he needs to slide into so he can find some open space to pick up yardage.
Xavier Victor getting a boatload of work tonight because Cameron Grady was questionable coming into tonight's game. Grady, a UTSA commit for the Sotomayor Wildcats, not on the field to start tonight's ball game. Coach Morales telling us during the week, though, that he was battling some injuries, got dinged up in one of their scrimmages. Meanwhile, Victor again, and another first down.
And another shifty move that netted him an extra yard or two on that one.
Exactly at the 30 of the Clark Cougars. And an impressive possession that not only has gone the way of the Wildcats in terms of driving the ball and consistently picking up positive yardage, but taking some time off that clock too there,
Absolutely.
Larry.
I was just thinking the same thing. Look at that. We're already almost halfway through the first quarter.
Moon, shotgun, bunch formation though for the Cats. There's Moon across the 30. The 25 has a seam. A couple of Clark defenders there converge, but not until Moon gets near first down yardage, if not flat out picked up another set of downs.
You know, Moon had almost 900 yards of rushing last year, so we know this young man knows how to run the ball.
When you total it up with the 869 on the ground and the 696 through the air, 1,565 total yards, 20 touchdowns as a sophomore.
Man. And he's only going to get better.
There's a reason why Coach Juan Morales called him a little Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
By the way, his arm strength, keep an eye on that too. Morales said he can flick it and it goes forever. Moon keeps here, crossed the 15 near the 10, stopped at the 13. That's where they mark it down. Only 2 yards shy, maybe a long 3 from another first down. Little Mahomes and those Wildcats really moving the ball here on this opening quarter. The clock now at 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Extremely impressive, especially this early in the season. They say that offense has to catch up to defense when the season starts. Not in the Wildcats' case, not on this drive. 2nd and 3 from the 13. Moon shotgun. Flags, I think Moon moved a little early. And again, I jinxed him, Larry. I need to stop singing his praises. Yeah. But in my defense, if he didn't play so well, I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Hey, man, you're just telling the truth. Young man's talented. That one's coming back.
False start on the offense, number 74. Be a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That actually the second penalty on this drive. It's easy to forget now, Larry, but this drive started with a Sotomayor penalty before they even snapped the ball.
Yep.
Hasn't mattered one bit, though. Let's see if this flag does. Back at the 18, it's now a 2nd and 8. Chauncey Moon and company looking at James McCaw, getting the play in from the sideline. Elijah McAdory, number 7, in motion. Haywood Anderson now shifts. Moon around left, breaks a tackle, brought down just inside the 15, so he's shy of the marker by about 4 yards or so.
Moon he's tough to tackle.
He is, and it helps that he's getting that push up front.
Yeah, the bigs up front are doing an excellent job to start out the game for Soto.
I mean, when he takes the snap and he's going either right or left, he has time to decide where he wants to go, what lane he wants to choose. If he wants to bounce it outside, cut it up inside. Those big nasties up front, making life very easy for Chauncey Moon. That said, is a 3rd and 5 from the 15. Moon again keeps. Unable to break the tackle. And a huge stop for that Clark defense. So now it's 4th down. Let's call it 4. I think they're going to spot it at the 14. They didn't get to the 10. So is this decision time for Coach Juan Morales and company?
Yeah, it certainly is. What do you do?
Andre Gonzalez, the kicker, a 5'10", 155 senior. From this point, it would be a 31-yard field goal at the 14. So on 4th and 4 from the 14, our first huge play of the game, Soto's going to go. Moon fakes through the air. In the end zone, corner knocked away. What a fantastic play, and that saves 6. Brett Garza, the team captain for Clark, coming up money.
He definitely came up money, closed in. I mean, because for a minute there, it looked like that was going to be a touchdown, but Garza got there just in time, and he hit that ball away as you watch this replay.
And with that, we're going to take our first time out. I'm sorry, Larry. I did not mean to step all over you.
You didn't. You're good.
With that, we step aside. When we come back, Clark with its hands on the ball for the first time right here. KSAT Pigskin Classic. Back here at Ferris Stadium as Clark gets its hands on the ball for the first time. And look at how they ended up with the ball. Brett Garza, their all-everything senior captain, with a deflection on 4th and 4 to stop a drive that had Sotomayor going the length of the field. Meanwhile, back to live action. That Soto defense, Larry, saying we're going to do everything we can to show that we're a pretty good unit, too.
Absolutely. Seth Hamill, I believe, was the first one there, a senior linebacker, making sure that that play went nowhere.
Essentially holding a team meeting at the ball.
Yes.
It's a loss of 5. So 2nd and 15 for the Cougars. Talked pregame about their quarterback, a young man, Isaiah Santillan. He's a senior, started last year for the Cougars. Get to his numbers from last year in just a bit. Under pressure, has to let it go. Complete out in the flat across the 10. Spin move across, positive yardage, and a nice job of Elijah Johnson of making something happen, especially considering Santillan was in trouble.
Coach was saying that, Coach Geis was saying Elijah Johnson is an explosive young man and dynamic, great hands. He showed his great hands on that play for sure.
Showing us right away why last year he caught 53 balls for 578 yards, scored 7 touchdowns, and every time he caught a pass, 10.9 yards per carry. 3rd and 7, though, for the Cougars because of that big loss on first down. At their own 17, handoff, good seam, 20-25 sideline to the 40, midfield, one man to beat, and Xavier Canavas gets all the way inside the Sotomayor 30.
Wow. Woo! And explosive run. I think he got a little tired there at the end, and then Aaron Adejobi was the one who made sure he did not go the distance. Look at the blocking up front, Hector.
That's tremendous. I mean, when you're the only guy on the screen for a couple seconds, you know that's a fantastic run. If not for Adejobi, who you mentioned, Elijah Johnson, one of the most explosive players for Clark, that's the way Coach Juan Morales describes Adejobi, most explosive players on the Sotomayor end. Meanwhile, Canavas, the ball, I believe, fell on the turf, able to pick it up, and they avoid losing yardage, I should say, but lucky that they didn't cough it up there. Second and 10.
Canavas showing his good hands there, man, picking that ball up on the bounce. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like on the exchange between Santillan and Canavas. Back to Xavier here in just a minute because Santillan airing it out deep, little long.
Oh, just too strong.
Going for Elijah Johnson. Second time they've gone his way. First time complete, that time almost connecting. But right away, we called them the three-headed monster. Xavier Canavas, Isaiah Santillan, Elijah Johnson. All big for a very young Clark team last year. All of them back for the Cougars, and a reason why they have realistic playoff aspirations this year. Santillan keeps there. Off the option is the ball on the turf. No, it's not. Rolled down. But a 3rd and long coming for the Cougars.
Yeah, and Santillan can definitely rush it as well. I know Coach Geis was saying that he can run the ball, and he's a better runner than what people really realize that he is.
One of the Cougars team captains. Through the air, 1,411 yards last year, so a young man who can really air it out. And with that, the end of quarter number 1. Both teams with impressive opening drives. Both teams, though, looking to get on the scoreboard. We're back with second quarter action from right here at Ferris Stadium. You're watching the KSAT 2025 Pigskin Classic. Welcome back to the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic, brought to you by Christus Children's. A scoreless opening period, though both teams having no trouble moving the ball. Right now it's Clark with the pigskin, and Isaiah Santillan over the middle looking for Elijah Johnson. Misread him over his head. And so on fourth down, a change of possession. And so I not only talked about both teams being impressive on their opening drives, both teams decided to go for it. We're going to step aside. When we come back, Sotomayor goes back on offense right here on the Pigskin Classic. Larry Ramirez in the booth. RJ Marquez down on the sideline. We're going to check in with RJ momentarily. With the ball right now, Sotomayor. That defense doing its job. And so the Wildcat offense back on offense following a fourth down stop for the Cats. So Chauncey Moon right to Xavier Victor. Hit the X button there, Larry. Is it X? Is it Y? What's the spin button nowadays on video games?
I honestly don't know.
I always
really
forget.
No.
I think it's A. I think it's B. Like, because I remember X. Our director, Michael Libby, telling me that X is square. So it's square. He still didn't answer my question, though. Is square the spin button?
I don't know myself.
I don't either.
I don't play a lot of video games, so I really don't know.
2nd and 9 following the 1-yard pickup for Xavier Victor. Penalty here is the Wildcats had Benjamin Gomez-Zolo in motion. Officials conferring. You see Gomez-Zolo coming past the officials, didn't look too happy with the call.
On a defense, be a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It is on that Clark D, though, and so because of the encroachment, 5 yards for the Cats, making it 2nd and 5 at their own 47. Beautiful night here at Ferris Stadium. Throughout the night, you'll probably notice that there's video boards here. And you might think, well, everybody's got video boards. For the longest time, neither Ferris nor Gustafson Stadium, the two Northside ISD stadiums, for the longest time, they didn't. They implemented them last year as Chauncey Moon goes down. Fantastic defensive play. Dom Moore, number 14, all over the place in the early, going for the Cougars, a young man who's coming off a year in which he had 61 tackles, 22 of them solo. And so Moore and that Cougar defense more than up to the challenge of facing the Sotomayor offense in the early going.
Coach was telling us that Moore has a good motor and he's very physical.
Extremely physical. You got that right, Larry. Moon on 3rd and 5 over the middle. Ball in the air, tip drill, interception. Guess who? Young man who made the 4th down stop on the previous possession. Brett Garza having himself a night in the early going.
Brett Garza has definitely been paying attention and going through those tip drills, Hector.
46 tackles last year, 22 of those solo, a tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup, a forced fumble, a partridge in a pear tree, and now an interception to start 2025. And we're going to step aside. Hey, we're catching up on timeouts because that first quarter was so efficient. We're back after this. So Clark's turn on offense on the Pigskin Classic. Clark Cougars back on offense on opening night of the 2025 season. First time they had the ball, marched down the field, but stopped by Sotomayor on 4th down. Isaiah Santillan rolling to his right, looking to let it go, but won't have a chance. A team defensive sack for those Sotomayor Wildcats. Several players in that backfield, including Jonah Moore, a huge nose guard for the Cats.
Well, Aaron Adejobi and Chance Collier, the 2 DBs over here on the close side to us, Hector, is the reason why that happened, because they had that receiver double covered and he had nowhere to go.
Drake Villegas in there as well. Half the Sotomayor defense getting into that offensive backfield. It's a loss of 7, so the second straight offensive possession. Clark dealing with a big loss on 1st down. Here's the screen, nearly picked off and then incomplete. Looking for Elijah Johnson, but read very well by Sotomayor.
Soto was not fooled at all in that play. They saw that one coming.
I think that might have been Jonah Moore again. We'll all see together. Nope, it's 99, not 98. Rodrigo Cifuentes, who backs up Jonah Moore at nose guard. He nearly got the pick, and I think Rodrigo was paying attention in field session too.
He was.
Yeah.
He was, man. 99 almost had himself an interception.
He saw that play coming and thought, oh, I've seen this before. Santillan, 3rd and 17, sideline Elijah Johnson, incomplete. They're going to say he didn't get even 1 foot in. So on 4th and 17, now here's the thing. Coach John Geist of Clark, he likes to go on 4th down. He's a guy that goes off of analytics a lot of times. But 4th and 17, I think that's a bit outside the numbers.
It is, very much so. And I think, too, that he really likes to go for it on 4th down when they're in field goal range as well.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Yeah,
a little bit different when you're inside on your own side of the field there, or the 50.
Yeah, you can't give Soto a short field right here, so you got to punt it.
Excellent point. No sense in tilting the field this early in the ball game. The aforementioned David Sim punt is high, takes a huge Clark bounce, more than 10 yards. And Clark will kill it at the 22. Let's check in with RJ down in the field. RJ, what you got, buddy?
Hey guys, a couple of quick updates from the Sotomayor sideline, and one big thing is that I've been looking out for the status of Cameron Grady. He, I was told, was not suited up, no reason disclosed, but of course Cameron Grady is a big part of the Sotomayor offense. And a quick update on defense, defensive lineman Marcus Pulido went out with an injury earlier. I've been seeing him kind of walking it out on that left ankle. He looks like he is a bit questionable right now to return to the game. Guys, right now, a bit of frustration on the Sotomayor sideline as the Clark defense has stepped up and made some big plays to keep the Cougars into the game so far. But I'm a little bit surprised and that Sotomayor has not been able to take an early lead here after a couple of nice drives early on. But we'll see what happens during the rest of this first half. Guys, back to you.
Appreciate that. Meanwhile, Chauncey Moon faking. The ball's on the turf, but I think Chauncey was already on the ground, so he gets a nice pickup. We'll call it 10 because I see the chains starting to move. Not so fast, says the line judge. Yes. Now he says, let's move him. So a 1st down carry for Chauncey. RJ mentioning Marcus Pulido. He's a backup defensive end. Spells Tice Washington, who's such a big part of that Sotomayor D. Will take you through both the Sotomayor D in its totality and the Clark offense when they get back on the field. But right now, that Wildcat offense starting this drive off with a 1st down on 1st and 10.
I'm just bummed RJ took his sunglasses off.
I know. Have him put it back on. It doesn't matter if the sun's not out anymore.
Come on, RJ.
Moon, like RJ, very cool in the early going across midfield. No, across the line of scrimmage, not quite to midfield, not even to the 40 to this point. Stopped it right around the 38-yard line as the Wildcats look to get past midfield here. We go under 8.5 minutes in the first half. Not as smooth and kind of consistent on both ends as the first quarter, but I think that's a testament to each defense stepping up here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I love watching Moon run because he's definitely shifty, like head coach said.
Just a junior, so Sotomayor has him for another year beyond this one. The handoff to Victor. There's Xavier nearing midfield and a 1st down for the Wildcats.
We saw his shiftiness and his explosiveness on that one. Him cutting back to his right definitely bought him another handful of yards.
officially down at the 47. It's a gain of 10. And so that's where the Wildcats will start anew. Benjamin Gomez-Zulo, right to Chauncey Moon's right. Xavier Victor behind him. He gets the call, but stopped well behind the line of scrimmage. Another good defensive play.
Was that Aiden Williams, number 33?
Sure was.
Who got through the line and tackled him?
So Aiden Donnell, good story behind Aiden O'Donnell is he's a young man who is a returner, linebacker, excelled on special teams, but this really his first chance to start and get significant playing time. Young man last year.
Timeout.
Who forced a couple of
Clark.
fumbles.
That is the first timeout of the half.
As well. Timeout taken by the Cougars. First timeout, so they have 2 remaining here before the intermission.
Hector, when you were talking with Coach Geis the other day, he was telling you, and thank you for letting me listen into that audio, that he likes his linebackers a lot, and then he matches them quite a lot as well because he's got so many good ones.
He does have a lot of good backers, and we're going to get to see him on full display throughout tonight. You're watching the KSAT Pigskin Classic right here at Ferris Stadium. We're back right after this. Second and 12, for the Sotomayor Wildcats. In trouble is Moon. Screen passers Victor, not much there. That Clark defense, speaking of doing its homework, ready for whatever came their way.
Well, first of all, it started with the pressure on the quarterback, and he just didn't really have any time to throw it. And Soto had that. I mean,
got
Clark
injury
had,
timeout.
Clark had that play
Injury timeout.
sniffed out.
Well, good news that Xavier Redding got off the turf in a hurry. The officials signaling for what's called an injury timeout, but number 61 for Clark, Xavier Redding getting right to his feet, walking to the sideline. So that's a fantastic sign. Now look at what both teams did in 2024 coming into this season. You look at Clark squeaking into the playoffs. Once they got there, a tough Harlan squad awaited them in that bi-district round. For the Sotomayor Wildcats, 8-4, including a 6-2 mark in district play during the regular season. High-powered offense, scored 331 points, and they went 2 rounds deep, losing to Austin Vandergrift in round number 2, a team that then went on to win the state title. So both teams coming off playoff runs, both in their respective districts, with good shots of heading back to the postseason. Moon on 3rd and 11, airs it out, short.
Short,
in the direction of Benjamin Gomez-Zolo, although he might have almost been trying to go to Omari Bauman as well. Maybe that was kind of a play in which they miscommunicated. Omari maybe hadn't turned around just yet. He was running a fly. Maybe Chauncey expected a hook.
And I believe that's why Chauncey went down there and talked to him, because there was a miscommunication.
Chauncey Moon, also the punter for the Sotomayor Wildcats. Yes, the classic case where you ask, does he drive the bus too? Back to punt, 4th and 11. Ball at his own 46. Gets off a good kick. End over end, takes another Clark bounce. Downed by Sotomayor right around the 25. And that's where the Clark Cougars will begin their next possession. In case you're just joining us, recapping Sotomayor and Clark on this opening night. The Wildcats taking the opening kick and driving right down the field, got right inside the Clark 15, went for it on 4th and 4. But Brett Garza, a tremendous job of batting away what would have been a touchdown. Clark then went on a long drive on its opening drive. They were stopped on a 4th down attempt by that Sotomayor defense, and the teams have traded defensive stops since then. Up the middle, again, a give to Xavier Canavas. And Xavier doing a nice job as he did so often last year, rushing for over 1,400 yards. Gets up the seam past the 30 to the 31-yard line. 2nd and 6, the official call. 15 touchdowns for Xavier Canavas last year. A young man who produced plenty for this Clark offense. Gets the call again. This time a good hole, but tripped up. And if not for that, he would have been running downhill and might still be running. But as it stands, brought down at right around the 35-yard line. Let's call it 3rd and 2.
You know, Canavas averaged 6 yards per carry last season. So giving him the ball, always smart. And he was their workhorse as well as far as running backs go last year.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of thing. When you get 6 yards a pop, you're putting yourself in fantastic position every single time. 2nd and 4, or you get a 1st down, brings up 3rd and short, gives your offensive coordinator plenty of options. Here he is again, this time right side. Nice move, and then a spin move to stay on his feet. Near the 50 before that Sotomayor defense able to wrangle him down, but not before another 1st down for Xavier Canavas.
I loved how that play started, Hector. He showed patience in his first handful of steps, and then once he saw where he was going, he attacked. Right here, a little bit of patience, boom. Then he gets out, spins. Man, this kid can run the ball. What do you have, 1,500 yards? Almost a little over 1,400 yards last year.
1,432 just on the ground alone. Another 125 through the air. This time they go to Nathan McManus. A hurdle. Nathan near 1st down yardage. And McManus penciled in as a starting running back for these Clark Cougars last year. Didn't quite finish the job, though, because of injury. That left an opening for Xavier Canavas. As they say, the rest is history.
Yep.
But Nathan McManus back from injury. They want to keep him on the field, so he plays receiver for these Cougars, and showing you why they want to still get him the ball. 2nd and 2 at the Soto 44. Santillan looking middle, now rolling right, under pressure. Gonna tuck and keep, forced out of bounds. Fantastic pursuit, because if not for that, Santillan probably lets that go.
Yes.
But as it is, Manny Gutierrez, a young man who is all over the place. Keep your eye on Manny. He wears number 11 for the Wildcats. Just one of those guys consistently gets after it. Showing you right there. 3rd and 4. Ball at the 46 of Sotomayor. Penalty markers. They handed it off to McManus, but the play, not a live one.
False start on the offense. Correction, encroachment. Encroachment on the defense, number 98. Be a 5-yard penalty, be a 1st down.
A reminder that it's early season for the officials too.
Yes.
Early season for everybody. Getting back into the flow, but football is back, Larry. Football is back.
And no matter what type of flow you're in, that's a good thing because football's back.
Absolutely. With that, a new set of downs for the Cougars, now at the Sotomayor 41. Santillan in shotgun. Multiple receivers to the left. McManus with the call. Nathan spinning his way to around the 35. Pickup of 5. They'll mark it down at the 36, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
In just the small sample that we're seeing, no wonder coach wants to get McManus the ball.
Right. I mean, you essentially have 2 starting running backs in there.
Yep.
Whether you've got Canavas or McManus in there. And it's Canavas who's back in and immediately gets the ball. And you see why. Staying on his feet, breaking through a would-be ankle tackle. You don't try to ankle tackle Xavier Canavas. Nuh-uh.
No, you sure don't.
Another set of downs for the Cougars.
He powered his way through that first defender.
Timeout. We got injury, timeout.
Both teams here huddling up as both teams pause with an injury on the field. We'll be back. Pigskin Classic here on KSAT Ferris Stadium. As we return to Ferris Stadium, Manny Gutierrez, the rover for this Sotomayor defense, he just made a play moments ago, walking gingerly on that left foot. So obviously our best going to Manny and hoping for a speeding recovery here. Good thing is that it's early in 2025, and so plenty of time to heal up and get back. And again, wishing Manny the absolute best. Obviously not going to play doctor. Don't know the extent of the injury up here, but our best to Manny Gutierrez. 1st and 10 at the 30 of the Sotomayor Wildcats for this Clark offense. Santillan in shotgun. Xavier Canavas behind him. 2 receivers to our side. Going that way is Santillan, looking for EJ. Knocked out of Johnson's hands, though.
Eden Jackson breaking up that pass, number 4.
Free safety for those Wildcats. It's a new-look secondary in a sense. Aaron Adejobi, really one of the few guys back. They go with Jordan Gervais at corner, Chance Collier the other one. You mentioned Jackson Larry, and we talked about Adejobi. They're the 2 safeties. The linebackers are Drake Villegas, Aiden Williams, Seth Hamill, and the just mentioned Manny Gutierrez. Patrick Palacios, one of the defensive linemen. Santillan high, caught, 1st down Clark. Beautiful execution, nice pitch, nice catch. Reed Baldwin, who actually is the backup quarterback, Larry, but they find ways to get him on the field. 10 catches a year ago, 135 yards to go with that, and showing you the skills that make them want to put him back on the field. 1st and 10 at the 15. The give, skip, and then not able to get beyond that is Canavas. So back to the line of scrimmage potentially. And with that, the newly formed 2-minute warning in high school football. We're at 2 minutes, so we take a timeout. In case you're not familiar, that is new this year. 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter, 2-minute mark of the 4th quarter. We've got essentially what we've known in the NFL forever as the 2-minute warning.
Yes.
In looking at these 2 teams, you know, one of the things we talked about, Larry, is how both these schools are Northside ISD schools. And later in the broadcast, we'll take you through what the schedule looks like for both these programs through the rest of the year. But let me just say this for Sotomayor and really for Northside ISD at large. NISD is so big that every one of the Wildcats regular season games, pre-district including, is going to come against a fellow Northside ISD school.
Okay.
That's how big the district is nowadays.
Wow. Yeah.
Isn't that tremendous?
That's crazy when you think about that.
Yeah, when you think about even in pre-districts. Again, and if you're wondering, well, how can that be again? And this goes to how big the district is.
Yes.
3 of those Northside ISD schools now play in Clark's, in the district, including Clark, in the district that houses the majority of the Northeast, all the Northeast ISD schools, and is made up majority of the Northeast ISD schools, District 27 6A. So that's how you're able to get, if you're a Northside ISD school, you're able to get pre-district games against fellow Northside ISD schools. Just a tremendous growth on this side of town. 2nd down and 12 at the 17. The give. No, the keep for Santillan, and a good decision across the goal line in the first touchdown of the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic.
Isaiah Santillan. Santi with the touchdown.
Decided that was his and his alone, and as is often the case with Isaiah Santillan, a good decision, a good payoff whenever he makes that decision. Keeping it from outside of 15, and now the extra point. David Salmon to make it 7-0 with 1:51 remaining in the first 24 minutes. No good. So it stays 6-0. But a wonderful job of Isaiah Santillan reading the RPO, deciding against giving it to Xavier Cannabis, which also would have been a good decision.
Probably.
But the way the defense was going, he said, I'm going to keep. Went up the middle. Once he got past that first wave, it was just a matter of basically bowing his way into the end zone.
And I feel like the defense was expecting Cannabis to get the ball there. So that was a fantastic RPO.
You have no, as you take another look, you have no option but to go with Xavier on that play.
Yeah.
He's been so effective. He's gotten the ball so much that you had to roll that way, and that gave Isaiah just the room he needed. So on the ground last year, a young man who scored 5 touchdowns. He's got his first of 2025 rushing walks. Sem to kick us off. And Sotomayor has 1:51 to answer before we head into the locker room. Kicks a good high one. Again, end over end. Back to the end zone, and we've got a touchback coming at the 25. Both teams pushing just enough, and eventually it was Clark who gets on the scoreboard first. But you get the sense, Larry, that it's going to be like this all night long. So here's Sotomayor's chance to answer, and you get the feeling this is going to be the kind of game we're still going to be on the edge of our seats here in quarter number 4.
Possession, 1st and 10 at the
and my fingers are crossed. That happens. I love it.
Been an entertaining first 24 minutes. Not done with them just yet, though, as I'm sure Chauncey Moon will tell us. Speaking of complete down the sideline, Omari Baum, his first. No,
nope,
incomplete. Looked like he had it, but couldn't quite control. Down to the turf. Yep.
Will be Soto possession, 2nd down.
Credit Brayden Black with knocking that one a.
25.
Brayden, a young man who played linebacker last year at the strong safety spot for the Cougars. 44 tackles last year. Moon keeps here on 2nd and 10. Give him a first down. nearly ran into the umpire.
Well, he shouldn't have been standing there.
I know, right? So the clock stops momentarily with the ball at the 35. New set of downs. Moon looking toward that sideline. Shotgun formation. To the right, another catch. This time to the opposite side. And another first down for the Wildcats.
Pass completion to Evan Fine. Forced out by Eli Abad. Will be Soto possession. First down, 10 yards to go at the Wildcats.
Pass was to Evan Fine.
Yeah, Evan Fine with the catch. And so Evan giving the Wildcats a new set of downs. 1st and 10 here at the 49. Moon over the middle. Big hit, Brett Garza. Woo! Brett Garza making sure that Xavier Victor knew he was there.
Wow.
Welcome to the new season.
You know, I think we should have had Brett Garza on Clark's Impact Players.
Right.
Can we pencil him in now?
Impact of a different way.
Soto possession, 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. Moon in shotgun. Bounces outside to his right. Moon's got an alley. Run out of bounds just inside the 25.
Little Patrick Mahomes being shifty once again. I love that comparison, by the way. Little Patrick Mahomes.
I would say he runs a little better than Mahomes.
He sure does.
Now, in terms of the throwing aspect, tough to compare anybody to Mahomes, but certainly a lot more agile once he gets outside the pocket. And a timeout taken by the Clark Cougars. Exactly 1 minute to go here.
That is their second timeout of the half.
In the first half. So the Cats doing everything they can here to counter the Cougars' first score on a Isaiah Santillan touchdown reception. And so another look at the Chauncey Moon run that got them now to the 25-yard line. And so you look at Moon, he's been a good job of being patient, Larry. Like, he hasn't had that explosive play just yet, but 6 yards here, 8 yards there, 10 yards here, 16 yards there. It's all adding up, and they haven't quite put anything on the scoreboard just yet, but they're 25 yards away from potentially tying this thing up.
Yeah, and you can see why they're so high on this young man as their quarterback, because he is patient. He's got great awareness out on the field. I think he's managing a very good ball game right now. He's great on the RPOs. He's got a nice arm when he throws the ball. He can definitely run. So this young man, and he's a junior, right?
Yes.
He's his future is definitely bright for them.
Clark, not a stranger to seeing this. When they met on opening night a year ago, Moon rushing for 116 yards against the Cougars, scored a touchdown. 1st and 10 here at the Cougar 25. Moon lets it go. Thought about running, looked like he had an alley, and then he tried to get it to Evan Fine. Fine, a young man who, in addition to playing receiver, the backup quarterback, should that be necessary for the Wildcats, and just out of his hands, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Second down, 10 yards to go.
Just a little bit off, let up just a tiny too much.
In addition to those 116 rushing yards last year against Clark, Moon passing for 58 and another score. Here he is looking to go through the air. Does so. Incomplete. He was looking down the sideline for Elijah McAdory. Good defense, though, and so McAdory really didn't have a shot. Brett Garza in the vicinity defensively, as was Eli Abad. Abad, a young man who later in last year became a starter for this Clark defense. Worked his way into that rotation and eventually starter and a starting quarterback to start the new campaign. 3rd and 10, 45 ticks left. Chauncey Moon at the 25. Moon keeps, got the 30, inside, across the 20, short of the first down. And Sotomayor wants to talk here with decision time.
Timeout.
That's what makes
Sotomayor.
that's
That
one
is
of the
their
things that
first
makes him
timeout
so
of the half.
dangerous. It looked like they were going to gobble him up, but he got away.
Andre Gonzalez, the kicker for Sotomayor. If they go for the field goal here on what looks to be 4th and short, and they look to be at the 17, that's a 34-yarder from here. But you've only got 2 yards to go for a first down. So if Coach Larry Ramirez was in charge of the Sotomayor Wildcats, would you go or would you go for the 3?
I'd go.
Yeah?
I'd go for it. Let Chauncey do a little RPO and work some magic.
You've got 37 seconds left in the half, and you've still got 2 of your timeouts left. So even if he gets the first down and he stays in bounds, yes, the clock stops momentarily, but you can just flat out stop the clock.
Correct.
And set up for a new set of downs with forever amount of time, considering you're already inside the Clark 20. The Sotomayor offense coming back onto the field. Not surprising, and Coach Larry Ramirez calling it correctly. 5 wide for the Cats. Ooh. Empty backfield for Chauncey Moon. Trips to the right, twins to the left. There's the snap. Moon up the middle, cross the 15, and a first down for the Wildcats. Yep. And as we mentioned, another timeout because they now want to stop the clock. 33 seconds and they want to talk this thing out.
Okay, I'm 1 for 1 this season. Let's go, baby.
Also, we have a first down.
Not only 1 for 1, but you even called it down to the play. You're like, I give it to Moon. Moon, are you sure you're not down? You don't have, is that headset for the broadcast or for the coaches meetings over here?
I'm not going to say, Hector. I'm not going to say.
It's a wonderful Sotomayor coaching staff that is led by head coach Juan Morales, but Joshua Campbell, yes, Joshua Campbell, the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for the Wildcats. The offensive coordinator, we mentioned him before, James McCall, also coaches the quarterbacks. Andrew Mormejo, the running backs coach. C.J. Richardson gets the corners. David Banda, the offensive line. John Garcia, the receivers coach. Former UTSA great Mauricio Sanchez, part of the original 18 for the Roadrunners. He's the safeties coach. Miguel Rodriguez, the linebackers. Sandra Yarborough, the defensive line coach. And Zach Bench, the assistant offensive line and tight ends coach. That rounds out your Sotomayor 2025 coaching staff. 1st and 10 for the Cats at the Clark 33. They're at the 14. Moon looking left. Goes that way. Corner. No. Incomplete. Looking for Xavier Victor.
Pass intended for Xavier.
I think you rushed it a little bit. Another look. You saw it there. You see it here. Yeah, little facing the pressure, little higher than he wanted to. 2nd and 10, 27 ticks now. Ball at the 14. Victor now going into the slot. So again, 3 receivers, although Victor now coming back and lining up next to Moon. 3 receivers in motion though. Moon has to get rid of it, throwing it to the ground. Now, not intentional grounding because that was past the line of scrimmage, but Chauncey Moon didn't like what he saw and just got rid of it.
Yeah, he looks frustrated right now. He's not happy.
10 yards to go at the Cougar 14.
There's McAdory going in motion, and there's Moon. The heck with it. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, and he saw the pressure coming there on his left side.
Yep.
And you can see him signaling. I had nothing down there. 3rd and 10, 22 ticks. And Coach Larry Ramirez is 1 down away from me asking the question again. Moon into the flat, out of bounds. The fullback, Benjamin Gomez-Zolo, young man who moved in from California. So this is first year here, not only with Sotomayor, but in San Antonio. That pass incomplete though, and so now 4th and 10, and on 4th and 10, from the 9. Here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, you gotta kick it now.
Andre Gonzalez with what is a 26-yard attempt. 26 from 26. Snap, hold, kick. Good. The Wildcats on the board for the first time in the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. 24-yard. Well, not quite the 6, but the answer.
They did answer.
And that's what you want to do in a game like this. I think a lot of folks looking at this Sotomayor Bar Club, they look at the youth, but they also look at the talent. They say, hey, a team that can beat you in a lot of different ways. Well, if you find yourself down 6-0, it's important to see how you're going to react, right? And I think that's what Coach Juan Morales and that coaching staff that we just ran through, I think that's what they're looking at right now. How do we respond in the early going? Got points out of it.
Yeah, and if they can get out of here without giving up anything else, they're going to feel much better about themselves in the locker room at halftime, knowing that they answered and they at least got 3 out of it. They're going to be disappointed they didn't get a touchdown, but they're going to be happy, though, because they at least got 3.
Well, while Andrew Gonzalez, handles the place-kicking duties, the Wildcats now looking to kick it off. Braden Luna with the honors here to kick it back to the Clark Cougars with 12 kicks left before the half. Short kick, taking it right around the 12. And a good little return past the 25 for Xavier Canavas. And so the Cougars now with 6 seconds remaining. Their offense will trot on the field with a 6-3 lead.
Xavier can do it all.
Yeah.
Canavas.
Yeah, their workhorse on offense, kick returner, an all-everything type of kid, and a young man who helps make this Clark offense go. We have seen just how important he is in this first 24 minutes. Gets the carry as this first half comes to an end. Through 24 minutes, this game turning out, bearing through so far is the type of matchup we thought it might be. 2 good teams going toe-to-toe. Let's send it down to RJ, who's with John Geist. RJ.
All right, we're down here on the field with Coach Geist. Coach, interesting first half. What are your thoughts going into the locker room?
Very close game. We've got some stuff we've got to clean up defensively, offensively. We're going to go in and look at that and make sure we're good coming out second half.
Your defense has made some pretty big stops here against this Sotomayor offense. What are your thoughts on how the defense is playing, and what's kind of the message in the locker room for that unit?
Well, we're playing hard right now. There's things that we've got to clean up. We're not executing the way we want to execute, and so that's a message. We got to execute. We've got to do a better job with that, and once we get that going, we'll be good.
Last one, Coach. Your quarterback made a big play there. Talk about that last 2-minute drive to kind of build momentum going into halftime.
Yeah, that was great. That was a big run by him. We had another play ready to go right after that, but he got it in the end zone for us, so that was excellent.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, guys, that's it from the field right now. We checked in with Coach Geist. Clark leading 6-3. A bit of an upset, in my opinion, and coming back out of the locker room, we're going to check in with Coach Morales. So sending things back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, RJ, and thank you to Clark head coach John Geist. The South Texas Ford Dealers
Halftime brought to you by your South Texas
KSAT Pigskin Classic.
Halftime brought to you by your South Texas Ford Dealers.
South Texas Ford Dealers halftime show right here on the KSAT Pigskin Classic, brought to you by Christus Children. The Clark Marching Band is taking the field. Their spirit groups are as well. The director of bands for Clark is Justin Murphy. The assistant band director is Benjamin Goskowski. Another assistant band director is Ryan Halbert. The Top Cat dance team leader is Lauren Roast. The Aristocrat Joe Dream director is Chrissy Johnson. Silver Pride Pep squad director Maya Cody. The cheer director is Krista Guajardo Carr. Manager for these Clark Cougars is Dave Dalkowitz. And so this Clark marching band, such a good unit for so many years, and again looking for another good season in 2025, set to take the field and do their first performance of the new season. We'll let you look in and listen in live on not only this Clark halftime performance, but also the Sotomayor band performance during their portion of the intermission as well. Right now getting lined up and set to play. Their spirit groups were out just moments ago, along with the certain members of the band. Little pre-show before the main show. And so as they get set to go, we now send it down to the Ferris Stadium field for the Clark Marching Band performance here during the South Texas Ford Dealers halftime report right here on the KSAT Pigskin Classic. Let's listen in.
Sanchez Lopez. Northside Superintendent is Dr. John Crack. The proud principal of Clark High School is Mr. Steve Zimmerman. Let's go Cougars!
The Clark High School marching band and the spirit groups performing here during the South Texas Ford Dealers halftime report right here on the KSAT Pigskin Classic. We're going to step aside when we come back. Sotomayor's turn. We're going to listen in and look in on their band. We're back after this right here on the South Texas Ford Dealers halftime show.
Halftime brought to you by your South Texas Ford dealers.
The Sotomayor Marching Band is on the field. They are led by their band director, Joseph Espinosa, their assistant band director, Paul Jensen, and April Lara. Spirit groups are led by cheerleader sponsor Linda Ramos, dance and drill sponsor Courtney Mercer. The pep squad sponsor is Desiree Ramos. And so without further ado, a look in, listen in on the Sotomayor Wildcat Band and their spirit groups.
And Silver Stars as they perform a precision pond routine to celebrate the start of the 4th Wildcat football season. Here's Born to be Wild. And now, the Sotomayor High School Band and Color Guard will be performing a portion of the 2025 competition show with music from Shostakovich, Linus Morissette, and original music from Miguel Perez and Cesar Gonzalez. This is Hail of Ashes.
You've been watching and listening in on the Sotomayor High School Marching Band and their spirit groups. Credit to our audio engineer, Griffin Long, all the great work he does in bringing you the sights and sounds of each band. We're back on the South Texas Ford Dealers halftime show, highlights, recap. Get you set for the third quarter right here on the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic.
Brought to you by your South Texas Ford dealers.
Ferris Stadium. Let's send it down to our RJ Marquez, who is with Sotomayor coach Juan Morales.
We're back live at Ferris Stadium, the 4th annual KSAT Pigskin Classic. Joining me now is Coach Morales, Sotomayor. Coach, what was the message to the guys in the locker room?
They just stay the course. Stay the course. We've done some great things coming in, things that we practiced. We know we're going to step on our own toes here or there. It's the first game jitters, but we knew it was going to be a fight. You know, Clark's a great team. They do some great things. That running back is very elusive, so he's going to be tough to get. At the same time, we've got to settle down on offense, make sure we do it the right way.
Real quick, Coach, how do you finish some of these drives? You're moving the ball, but just trying to get it into the end zone and getting some points on the board.
That's exactly what the message was. We're moving the ball. We're doing what we want to get done. We just got to be able to finish at the end, stay focused, execute, make sure we stay the course.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. All right, that was head coach Juan Morales right there for Sotomayor. And guys, we got the band going. Real quick, though, I know you guys had mentioned earlier about my sunglasses. I wanted to channel my inner Eric Dickerson. Here you go, guys. My inner Eric Dickerson right here. Second half of the KSAT Pigskin Classic on the way, coming up right here in KSAT 12. Back to you guys. Hector, Larry.
RJ Dickerson. No one cooler than RJ Dickerson.
I love how his hair's not messed up either.
It never is.
No.
Somehow that RJ do is always like perfectly in place. We do welcome you back, as RJ mentioned, to the KSAT 2025 Pigskin Classic, brought to you by Christus Children's. Coach Morales and his Sotomayor Wildcats down 6-3 to Clark. Larry, your thoughts here on the first half and the way it kind of shook out for both teams?
Well, I agree with what Coach said. It's like they were moving the ball, they just couldn't cash in. So they were getting in their way a couple of times, but that's early season jitters like they talk about.
Right, and you look at the way they were able to move the ball on the ground, right, whether it was Chauncey Moon or Xavier Victor, but then on the other end, Clark able to get the ball going as well, and for them, it started with their playmakers. Elijah Johnson, he's number 1. Number 0 on your screen, Xavier Canavas. And then leading the whole thing is Isaiah Santillan, their quarterback, number 4. They can beat you in any of a number of ways. And, oh, by the way, their defense has come to play this evening as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we've talked about Clark's big 3. Xavier, Elijah, and Isaiah, and they both, all 3 of those young men are definitely delivering tonight. And yes, Clark's defense coming through when needed.
And with that, the third quarter is set to get underway because Clark won and deferred. They get the ball now with a 3-point lead. Got to pick that up unless it goes out of bounds, and it does. Penalty marker, and so now Clark gets the choice of whether they want to re-kick or where they want the ball spotted. It looks, by the way that the special teams are coming off the field, that Clark will take placement, and so they'll start following the kickoff going out of bounds.
On the kicking
and I think you hit it right on the head, Larry. When you look at the way that Sotomayor has been able to move the ball, that hasn't been the issue. It's cashing in.
Yep.
Now, they got the 3 points there at the end, and if you're Sotomayor, you can take some comfort in saying, we haven't played our best, and yet we're only down by 3.
Sounds like Soto will say we're beating ourselves right now.
At the same time,
yes.
If you're Clark, you look at this and you say, hey, we've got some guys to unleash too. We got big play guys of our own, so stay tuned. Should be a fun final 24 minutes. 1st and 10 at the 30 for Isaiah Santillan and those Clark Cougars. The give, guess who? Not a surprise, Xavier Canavas up the middle. Give him 6, brings up 2nd and 4.
Aiden Williams there on the tackle for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Aiden, a young man who was all over the place in that first half and picking up right where he left off here in quarter number 3. Santillan, a senior. Canavas, a junior. Elijah Johnson, also a junior. First down yardage or near it. I think they're going to give him a new set of downs for Canavas. Yep, moving the chains.
Leading rusher from last year, so it's no surprise that they're leaning on that young man a lot.
You mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Larry, the 6 yards per carry he gets. Well, right there on this drive already, 5 yards on first down, 5 yards on second down.
Yep.
I mean, every time he gets the ball, just positive yardage, and not only positive yardage, but he's putting Clark in fantastic down and distance positions. Here he is again. Busy young man across the 40. That Sotomayor, though, defense stiffening up. Tice Washington, the defensive end. Jonah Moore at nose guard. They got Braxton King at tackle. Patrick Palacios, the other tackle. Gutierrez, Seth Hamill, Aiden Williams, Drake Villegas. They're starting linebackers, though. So we saw Manny Gutierrez go out in the first quarter with injury. Chance Collier, Aaron Adejobi, Eden Jackson, Jordan Gervais. They're starting secondary.
Well, Cannabis did not stop. His legs just keep pumping.
Big reason why he's so successful. Through the air, Santillan, that pass picks. 4-on-4 crime. Eden Jackson, number 4 for the Wildcats, with the big turnover, and maybe that serves as the momentum that Sotomayor has been looking for.
Absolutely, and they're going to get the ball, right around midfield? That is quite a turn of events right there.
Great position. They're going to officially mark it at the 45. I'm with you. I thought he was beyond it, but they're marking it at the 45. I think if you're Sotomayor, we'll take it.
Yes.
We'd rather have the 50, but we'll take the 45, even if it is our own 45. First and 10, 10-11, and not the first turnover of the game, but it feels like this could be momentous here. Let's see if the Wildcats take advantage. Handoff. Xavier Victor coming left. A host of Clark Cougars there to meet him. Braden Black in on the action. He wears number 2 for the Cougars. Again, in case you're just joining us, the Cougars in the white unis with the black helmets. Sotomayor gray with the silver helmets. Opening night of 2025. Proud to bring it to you right here on the KSAT Pigskin Classic. Tough first 24 minutes. Sotomayor now trying to dig out from underneath a 6-3 deficit. Clark getting on the board first, courtesy of Isaiah Santillan, before the Wildcats answered with a field goal to make it 6-3 right before the half off the leg of Andre Garza.
Well, Hector, in last year's game, I know Clark turned the ball over too many times in the second half, which helped Sotomayor win. So you got to think Soto's probably thinking that right now, hey, this is what happened last year.
Absolutely. It was 33-10 last year in favor of Sotomayor. And so Clark really, in that first half at least, turning the tide. Although Victor having something to say about it on that play on 3rd and short, still moving. Finally the whistle, but not until Victor gets to the Clark 33.
Look at his patience. God, he's just got great eyesight, too, running up the field.
Never seems like he's in a hurry either.
Nope.
But he moves. Speaking of Eric Dickerson, RJ's best friend, just like Eric in that just glides. Never seemed like he was really frantic or in any kind of a frenetic pace, but before you knew it, he was the guy on the field no one could catch.
Yep.
Get past that line, and Chauncey he'll take the snap, he'll survey, he'll then decide to go, and you're thinking, how has nobody got him by now? But every single time, getting past that original line of scrimmage, a gain of 4 here to bring up 2nd and 6 at the Clark 29. Elijah McAdoy was going to go in motion, stayed. There's Moon around the left side. 4 more brings up 3rd and 2.
Chauncey Moon. Sorry, I've been wanting to say that the whole time.
No, it's okay. I've been wanting to say Buster Moon. Remember that great movie?
Yep.
No relation, though, to Buster Moon?
No.
Voiced by Texas legend Matthew McConaughey. 3rd and 2 here for Chauncey and these Wildcats. Elijah McAdoy split near Russ. He's in the slot. They got Amari Baum back near the sideline. There's the give up the middle. Cut and a good run for a first down. It's Haywood Anderson. A young man that this Sotomayor coaching staff is high on. And he gives the Wildcats a new set of downs inside the Clark 20. The 18 to be exact.
Coach Morales said that he's got a great core running backs, and Haywood Anderson proves it right there.
They're all young. Anderson's just a junior. Victor, a junior as well. Chauncey Moon, a junior. You sense a pattern. The give around right. McAdoy inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at near the 5. And here come the Sotomayor Wildcats knocking at the door. Officially spotted at the 6. First and goal. So easily the Wildcats' best scoring opportunity. Moon, shotgun, gives Victor on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown Sotomayor off the legs of Xavier Victor.
Again, you saw the shiftiness and then the explosiveness from him those last couple of yards. Touchdown Wildcats.
Try to get him low. The problem is we're going to try to get a guy like a Xavier Victor low. You got to get him at the knees. Legally, of course.
Yes.
Legally. But you got to go down, because if you try to ankle tackle, it ain't going to work.
He bounced off JP Hinojosa like that linebacker wasn't even there.
Extra point, no good. Okay. And so with that, it remains a 3-point game, but in the other way. Sotomayor 9, Clark 6, right here to open the third quarter of the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. We're back after this. Back here at Ferris Stadium, Clark and Sotomayor. Is that Boise State's Ashton Janty, or is that Xavier Victor? Shout out to our graphics guru, Cole Pavelio, for that comparison tonight. Xavier doing his best Ashton impression, putting Sotomayor up 9-6 as number 6 scored from 6 yards away. And just like that, Larry, we talked about it. Didn't take much. Wasn't going to take much, especially in a game this close. But just like that, the Wildcats get the turnover, march right down the field, and now they find themselves with the lead.
And that's exactly what they needed, right? And capitalizing on turnovers, I mean, that's always huge when it comes to any level of football. And you just got to wonder if this is going to start to go like last year's second half when Clark turned it over too many times and Soto took advantage.
Andre Garza with the kickoff, a 33-10 victory for Sotomayor versus Clark to open 2024. The Cougars in that first half very much looking like, if anything, this is going to be a much closer game than that. As Larry pointing out, now on the verge of seeing if they can keep it that way in a 3-point ball game. And so another opportunity as Isaiah Santillan and that Cougar offense come back on the field. Isaiah, one of the team captains, young man who threw for more than 1,400 yards last year, 1,411 to be exact, 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Through the ground, another 103 yards, another 5 scores, takes the snap, hands off, Xavier Canavas. That Sotomayor defense there in a hurry. That Clark offense, Lorenzo Mello at left tackle. He's a big boy, goes about 6'5", wears number 79. John Meade, the guard at left side, number 70. The center's Dean Castillo, wears number 58. Number 77 is Caleb McCall. He's the right guard. The right tackle is Carlos Rocha. We've talked about Isaiah Santillan behind center plenty, as we have about Xavier Cannabis. Nathan McManus, the receiver. Marcus Garza, Jackson Shannon, along with Elijah Johnson. Santillan looking for one of them now. Over the middle, Elijah Johnson. A catch, a move, the 50, and then out of bounds.
Santi showing some patience there on that pass.
Elijah Johnson with his first action since the first quarter. They went to him often on that first drive. A catch, and then just overthrew him near the end zone. And really quiet since then, but you look at Coach John Geist and that Clark coaching staff really looking to get him back involved. Offensive coordinator for the Cougars is Terry Staggs. There's the give up the middle on 1st and 10 from the Soto 48 to right around the 46, a pickup of 2.
Hector, Coach Geist was telling you about the experience that this team has this year compared to last. You got to think that he feels that experience is going to help him here in this situation.
It's a bonus, right? I mean, as young as they were last year, they still made the playoffs. It speaks to the talent they had. Around left, another good carry for Canavas. Boy, is he busy. They're old school in the way they run the ball, right, Larry? And you nowadays in football, especially at the upper levels, pro and college, the days of guys getting 25-plus carries are gone.
They are.
Don't tell that to the Clark Cougars with Xavier Cannabis.
No.
He is a workhorse. And for good reason. Every time he touches it, positive yardage. 3rd and 2 at the Sotomayor 40. A little bit of a mix-up, and because of that, still finds a way to get past the 40 and a first down for Xavier Cannabis. Cannabis, just a year ago, 14-32 with those legs, got in the end zone 15 times, carrying it 237. You do the math, and thankfully I didn't have to, Larry, because I saw it on the stat sheet. You do the math, 6 yards per carry. Young man who not only gets it a lot, but does a lot with it when he does. Again with the handoff. Loss of a yard this time. This time I had the reverse effect on Cannabis. I was talking up Moon, and he got a penalty, and then a bit of a negative play, and now Cannabis saying, Hector, stop talking about me, please, so we can get back to doing what I do so well.
And Cannabis is strong also.
As you mentioned earlier, always keeping those legs moving. Clark looks like they have maybe some substitution and a package confusion here. Late coming onto the field, but they're going to get it off in time. Santillan in trouble. Keeps the play alive, overthrows Elijah Johnson, but the fact that he did not take the sack, a good thing. Yeah, Liam Henderson running onto the field right before the Cougars snapped it. And now with 3rd and 11 awaiting the Clark Cougars.
Nice decision to throw it away because Manny Gutierrez was there.
And thank you for pointing that out, Larry. Manny exiting the game earlier.
Yep.
With what appeared to be an injury. Number 11 back out there for this Wildcat defense. 3rd and 11, as mentioned, at the 39. Santillan keeps well short of the first down. And again, guess who? Just talked about him. Gutierrez with the stop.
Looks like he's got some sort of wrap on his lower left leg, but thankfully, he's good to go.
4th and 8 at the Sotomayor 36, and that Clark offense still on the field. Would Coach Larry Ramirez go for it here?
No, I would not. But what do I know?
You know a lot. Coach John Geist and company with the offense. There's the snap. They're going on 4th down. Over the middle. Complete to Elijah Johnson. Out of bounds and a first down for the Clark Cougars.
I don't think Sotomayor expected that.
I think you're right.
I really don't.
I think Johnson coming across the middle and then somehow finding himself with enough separation to bring that one in, and a huge play that extends the drive that comes off the heels of Sotomayor taking the lead in this ball game. 1st and 10 at the 12. Canavas wrapped up and right around the line of scrimmage.
That previous pass to me seems to be in Santi's wheelhouse. Like, he loves that yardage right there.
Yeah, good call. Most of his passes, Larry, have come right there over the middle.
Yeah, that's his sweet spot right there.
And it helps when you have Elijah Johnson running that route as well.
For sure.
2nd down and 10. They're at the 12, so they can get a first down from here. Santillan, flat, out route, corner, touchdown Clark. They retake the lead. Marquez Garza getting into the end zone.
And I believe this is where that experience he was talking about definitely paid off.
What a time for his first catch. The senior receiver finding his way, ran a short out route. Santillan hit him perfectly. And now it's David Sim on to make it a 4-point game. What an answer for the Clark Cougars with 24 ticks left in the 3rd quarter. There's the kick. And our first good extra point of the night. Clark 13, Sotomayor 9. Late in quarter number 3. Here we go, standing by.
Stephon, don't leave the ball, Stephon. You got to stay where the ball's at. Mechanics, you got to stay where the ball's at until we're ready.
It wouldn't be a Pigskin Classic here on KSAT if it wasn't a fantastic game. We have 24 ticks left, Larry Ramirez, and we've got ourselves a 13-9 ball game, and a contest has just gone back and forth.
Yep, and Clark needed that touchdown drive after they turned it over and allowed the Wildcats to score. It's exactly what the Cougs needed.
And what's been great to see, especially in the early season, is how well these teams have responded.
Yes.
Each has taken punches and then gotten off the mat and come back with punches of their own. David Sim with the kickoff. That one gonna be brought out. Cross the 10, the 20.
Wow.
And a C for a second.
Good job.
You were thinking the same thing I was, weren't you?
I was.
Bryce Coleman had a lane and he took off.
I thought that baby was going the distance.
I was preparing to say he brought it out from 8 yards deep in the end zone, and for good reason. Look at this burst. If not for that, guys, for those of you at home, you didn't have the benefit from that angle. If he gets past that little tackle, there is nothing but green in front of him.
He's probably still running.
He's probably just wrapping up his run right now. I would still be running. I would still be like at the 35.
Yeah. And you'd be out of breath, too.
I'd have to stop because I was out of breath. First and 10 for Chauncey Moon. The give. Victor, speaking of lanes, to the 40. Big play after big play to end the third quarter of the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. And with that, we have reached the end of 3. Put those 4s up. Should be a fun final period from right here at Ferris Stadium. Clark 13, Sotomayor 9, but the Wildcats have the ball and good field position. We're back with the final frame. Fourth quarter of the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic brought to you by Christus Children's. Sotomayor trailing but with the ball at their own 40. Chauncey Moon out of the shotgun coming left, cross the 40 near the 45. And Moon just keeping those legs moving. His Wildcats trying to erase a 4-point deficit.
I feel like Chauncey is just this close. Hector gets through one of those little cracks, he's going to go.
I'm thinking the exact same thing, man.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for it.
Yep.
To use a phrase that is all too familiar around here, he's just pounding on that rock right now.
He sure is.
And eventually it's going to break, is what it feels like. In the meantime, McAdory around left, stopped at the 45.
The Cougars sniffed that one out for sure.
Brings up 2nd and 6. Proud to bring you the opening night, a day so big that it rivals what the Cowboys did in trading Micah Parsons to the Packers today.
Yeah.
Larry and company will have plenty of that. Sports Tonight on the Night Beat. A trade that sent shockwaves through not only the NFL but the sports world. There's a screen pass. Victor with a move, fighting his way for more yardage, but knocked out of bounds shy of the 45, and so a 4th down and a huge play for that Clark defense.
Going back to that, Hector, how quickly that relationship between Micah and Jerry Jones just disappeared. That's nuts.
You know what the irony is? Have you had a chance to catch the Netflix documentary on the Cowboys?
A little bit of it, yes.
It seemed watching that like Jerry, if nothing else, had a certain amount of perspective. By the way, 4th and 5 here, and it looks like Chauncey Moon is going to punt it away. It's tough to tell because he's on the field always. But here he is back in formation. They are going to punt it away down 13-9, a fair catch. Elijah Johnson makes it. A right and run is 23-yard line. And so to continue that thought, it seemed like if nothing else, Jerry had gained some perspective from everything that had gone on since the 90s and just fully realizing what they had not accomplished.
Yes.
And then to watch that and to see how this thing transpired in real time with Micah, it really is mind-boggling to a certain extent.
It is. I was blown away when I saw that come up today. So, but Packers getting one of the good ones.
And a team that already was in contention in the NFC just got that much better. Speaking of better, young man who's already pretty darn good for these Clark Cougars, Xavier Cannabis. The handoff, give him 5 more, now to the 30. As the Cougars now a chance to really, really put some points on the board that would make this really tough for Sotomayor. They're up 4. You get a touchdown and you make it a 2-score game. We're nearing 9 minutes here in the ball game.
I can watch Cannabis run all day long. He is fun to watch.
And right on cue, gets the ball again. This time coming left, but that Sotomayor D there to greet him near the line of scrimmage. Tice Washington, Jonah Moore, Braxton King, Patrick Palacios.
And you can see why he had over 1,400 yards rushing last year.
I mean, at this pace, kid's going to go near 2,000. And he's doing this against a very good Sotomayor D as well.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. They put Jackson Shannon in motion. He's number 3. Santillan rose to his right, looking that way. Elijah Johnson, beautiful. Old bootleg play. Jackson Shannon came back to get it. 1st down yardage. That's how you draw it up. That's why you practice it so often.
That's beautiful.
And you can tell that Santillan and Johnson had plenty of experience not only doing that during this offseason, but also last year as well.
And that catch was made right in front of Coach Morales, and he wasn't too pleased.
2 of the players that make up Clark's 3-headed offensive monster coming into this season. Here's the 3rd, Xavier Cannabis around left. That's Sotomayor D, though, stiffening, a loss of 2, maybe a yard, depending on the spot. They're going to mark it at the 36.
Seth Hamill there on the defense for Soto.
Hamill, one of those kids who's going to be among the first seniors who spent all 4 years here at Harlan. This is a program that's only been playing varsity football for 4 years, and already a 2nd-round playoff last season.
Yeah, and how cool is that, man? The legacy seniors for Soto, and you can tell Coach Morales when you talk to him about it, he is so proud of these young men and what they've done to lay the foundation for this program. Because, Hector, you know this, when they first started, they didn't even have their own place to work out. They were working out in middle schools.
Right. Right, and to go from that to playoffs in their third season. Santillan on 3rd and 12, incomplete. So that Sotomayor defense holds. That Cougar punting unit coming onto the field. And now with 6:56 to go, Chauncey Moon is going to get another shot. Down 13-9 in this Sotomayor offense filled with a lot of young talent. Another opportunity to erase a 4-point deficit. Snap, good one, handled. There's Sim. David, a liner. Downed it right around the 29-yard line as Evan Fine was waiting for that return. When we come back, 6:45 remaining in the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. The Wildcats a chance to take the lead. We're back after this. Send down to RJ Marquez, down on the sideline. RJ.
Yeah, guys, back here on the field right now, and one thing I'm starting to notice is that a couple of these guys starting to get a little bit tired as we see some of the early starts of the seasons when you start to cramp up a little bit. Keep an eye on that, plus also the Clark Cougars, obviously a heavy dose of Xavier Canavis and Elisha Johnson, but Sotomayor, we'll see what they do on this drive, guys. 6 minutes and change left. The KSAT Pigskin Classic should be a good end to this one. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, RJ. Elijah McAdory, the first carry on that possession. So 2nd down and 8 as we go under 6.5 minutes to go here in the ball game. The Wildcats looking to come back from a 13-9 deficit. They took a 9-6 lead in that third quarter before the Cougars stormed back and retook the lead on a touchdown pass from all-everything quarterback Isaiah Santillan to Marcus Garza. So that takes us to where we are now. And now the Wildcats trying to answer Moon. That pass deflected as he was looking for McAdory. Had McAdory kind of running what looked to be somewhat of a wheel route. Didn't look like it was just a flat out.
Who knocked down that pass? Can't tell.
You got to give credit to that Clark defense, right, Larry? I mean, they've had those hands up. They've been right there step for step on just about every play with a speedy Sotomayor skill set. But whether it's been Xavier Redding or Zeke Zurita or Kanan Newble, Aiden O'Donnell, Dom Moore, Jerry Brightwell, Michael.
You got a timeout.
Nanquo, Dom Moore, by the way, getting that deflection. Dom himself a big play guy for this Clark D. And so a timeout, a big down, Larry, 3rd and 8, 5:57. We'll see what happens when we come back. 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. It's a tight one. Clark 13, Sotomayor 9, but the Wildcats have the ball. You can probably hear it at home, but they are playing Sweet Caroline over the loudspeakers and showing everyone, loving every minute of it, on these brand new video boards here at Northside ISD Ferris Stadium. I say brand new, this is year number 2 of these video boards. 3rd and 8, Moon in trouble, gets out. He's got a lane, he's got the 35, he's got the 40. I don't know if he's got a first down though.
Looks like he's a little short.
This is going to be close depending on the spot. That spot initially says they're short.
Yes.
Down 1 yard.
Whoa, 4th and a yard, and we have 5.5 left. Coach Larry Ramirez, you know what I'm about to ask?
Yes. I'm not a big fan of going for it inside your own 50, but it looks like they're going to go for it.
The offense still on the field.
Clock operator,
5:16.
please reset the game clock at 5:45.
Okay.
5:45.
Never mind the 5:16. We're back at
will start at the
5:45.
snap.
My guess is the clock kept running when Moon went out of bounds. 5:45, 4th and 1. Sotomayor's going from their own 39. There's a snap. Moon did not get it, not even close.
JP Hinojosa, one of the first Cougars there.
Dom Moore also.
Dom Moore.
Been very, very active, and what a huge stop for this Clark defense. Wow.
And that's why, and depending on the circumstance of the game as well, but with close 5.5, 6 minutes ago, I don't think you go for it on this side of the field when you're inside your 50.
And if you're Sotomayor, you still have 2 of your timeouts remaining. So if time's an issue, you can stop it twice, and you have the 2-minute warning. Remember, high school football, in case you weren't with us in the first half, or even if you were, but you're just getting used to it, high school football has now the 2-minute warning, essentially. 2-minute stoppage and the 2nd and 4th quarters. Canvas. There's that Sotomayor defense. They're in a hurry. There are the whistles.
Hector, I'm going to say that was a plethora of defenders there.
He's a sweater.
It's a sweater.
2nd and 12 for a Clark offense that can certainly take time off the clock through the ground, which would be key right now. But that Sotomayor D, you know they're expecting that as well. The clock now nearing 5 minutes. At 5 minutes exactly now. 2nd down and 12. 38-yard line. Canvas again, no surprise. And again, that Sotomayor D there for not only a stop, but negative yardage. Some substitutions here is you wonder if Sotomayor here, they're gonna play as if Clark is gonna air it out here. Because if you're the Cougars, you're thinking, well, yeah, of course you're gonna air it out. 3rd and 14.
3rd and 14.
But you're wondering if you're Clark, maybe taking time off the clock and or making them use another timeout is more important because the Wildcats only have 2. They already took one of their 3 here in the second half. Santillan, Garza, and they forced him out of bounds. Wow, a win-win for the Wildcats. They get the stop and they force Garza out of bounds. Now here's the thing. If you're Clark, this appears to be for your down territory. You're in no man's land here at the 33.
You are. Yeah, coach said that they go for it a lot based on analytics when they're in field goal range. But it looks like they're going to go for it.
5 wide for Isaiah Santillan. 4th and 6 with 4:04 at the 33 of Clark. Santillan over the middle, lets it go. Elijah Johnson with the catch. The ball's loose. Is that a fumble or an incompletion? It's an incompletion.
Looks like an incompletion.
Oh boy, it looked in live action like Elijah had possession.
The pass was incomplete. Sotomayor takes over, 1st and 10.
Now here's the thing, at the end of the day, it really didn't matter because that's a Sotomayor recovery if that is a fumble.
Yes.
But there's, if there was instant replay, That one would go back to the UIL office in Austin.
You got to get somebody on the phone here. Wow. And that was a nicely drawn out play as well.
It's the one that they had success on the other end of the field right here on a similar fourth down.
Yep.
3:54 now, and the Wildcats take over, down by 4 at their own 32. They don't get any more fun than the KSAT Pigskin Classics. Always drama, always down to the wire. No different tonight. Moon, the handoff. McAdory still on his feet near the 40.
McAdory.
Elijah, young man whose name you're going to hear plenty throughout the season. The Sotomayor coaching staff very high on him.
Yeah, he's got some shiftiness as well.
He's just a sophomore. So in a year in which the Wildcats are graduating their first class and where those athletes have been at the school for all 4 years, their quarterback is a junior. McAdory is a sophomore. And that young man, Xavier Victor, is also a junior, number 6 with first down yardage near the 50.
His initial burst is what saved that play for him to get positive yards.
We now go under 3 minutes. The clock continues to run. Sotomayor, time not an issue, but if it does become one, they've got 2 timeouts left. Clark, all 3 of theirs. Chauncey Moon, though, in no hurry. His team down by 4. McAdory in motion. Moon keeps. Cross midfield, still on his feet, past the 40 of Clark.
How clutch was that run? Oh, man.
He just does such a good job of running in tight space as well.
Slippery.
He's impressive. Coach Morales singing his praises throughout the week, saying that he makes us go. And he's just gone in a hurry if he can find that
Got a
seat.
timeout. Timeout Clark.
Clark tonight.
That is their first
Little
timeout
Patrick Mahomes.
of the half.
Clark tonight, Larry, has done a good job of keeping him in check, but we still have 3 minutes to go. Speaking of Moon and the Sotomayor Wildcats, what's on tap for them for the rest of 2025? Well, following tonight, they take on Brandeis, then it's Brennan. O'Connor's next, Marshall, Holmes, Stevens, Taft, Warren. They get the bye on Halloween, and then they're against Harlan. Now, if you're wondering, considering these are on Northside ISD schools, that September 13th game, that's when they begin district play, and it should be a fantastic matchup because Brennan, Harlan, Sotomayor considered to be among the top three teams in that district. As for the Clark Cougars, what do they have in 2025 following tonight? Well, the Cougars, remember, they play in the district that has mostly Northeast ISD schools. And so for Clark, once they get past this game, they're going to have Stevens, East Central, they get the bye, and then they're going to begin district play. Lee, Churchill, Madison, Brandeis, Roosevelt, Reagan, and then they close with Johnson. So a stretch there for the Cougars before they get the bye and then begin league play.
Their final 2 games of the season at Reagan, or taking on Reagan, then taking on Johnson, that's tough.
That is tough. You want to be in good position if by then. Victor making a couple moves on his feet. Give him another 6 or 7. Yeah, to wrap up the conversation then, Larry, you hit it right on the head. If you go into Reagan and Johnson fighting for a playoff spot, good luck.
Yeah,
good luck.
Yep.
I think
We
by
are
then,
at the 2-minute timeout.
by then, Clark
in the
wants
fourth
to
quarter.
have
2-minute
at least
timeout.
a little bit of a cushion so that if you, for now, Coach Geist would never say that out loud. And
No.
he didn't say that during our conversation. But if you just look at the way reality works, if you're needing to win one or both of those games, then, you know, you're facing a tough uphill battle. We're back for the final 2 minutes. Sotomayor trailing, but on the march right here in the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. Ferris Stadium, and what a fantastic ending we're set for. 2 minutes exactly on the clock. Sotomayor 9, Clark 13, but Sotomayor has the ball. 2nd and 3 at the 31 of Clark. Chauncey Moon keeps, falls on the turf, goes right to Xavier Victor. What are the chances, but a big loss for those Wildcats.
Boone was sniffing a first down.
Oh boy, how about the timing there?
Oh yeah.
Right place at the right time. There's the ball.
Helmet to ball.
Actually, it's McAdory who was in the right spot at the right time. 7, not 6. So McAdory, but now it brings up 3rd and 5. Although, this is four-down territory. You're down by 4.
Yes.
Clock is running. 1:30. Moon, shotgun. Xavier Victor. They got to get the playoff in a hurry. They got to use a timeout. Oh, boy.
Timeout. Sotomayor. That is their second timeout of the half.
Oh, boy. Not a timeout you want to use in that spot. So now you're down to 1 if you're Sotomayor. 1:26 to go. You're 3rd and 5. And if you don't get it here, you now have the choice of, okay, do we burn the timeout and really talk it over for what's going to be an all-everything 4th down, or do we just treat it as another play? Now, we may not get to that point. Sotomayor might get the first down here on 3rd and 5, but we'll see if that becomes a factor as we play the rest of this one out.
What are they talking about right now in that huddle, Hector?
I think Coach Juan Morales and his offensive coordinator, Coach Josh Campbell, are probably thinking, all right, do we go Chauncey Moon right, or do we go Chauncey Moon left? Or do we maybe go Chauncey Moon up the middle?
Right.
A year ago against these Clark Cougars, Moon rushed for 116, scored a touchdown, passed for another 58 yards, threw for a touchdown, 174 total yards when you do the math, to go along with those 2 scores. Tonight he's been very effective, hasn't had the big play quite yet, but on the verge, if he can convert a 3rd and 5 here, of leading Sotomayor to a come-from-behind victory. 1:26 to go, 3rd and 5. McAdory in motion. Lets it go, does Moon. See, McAdory had it. Bless his heart. You know he wants it back.
I thought he was going to do push-ups right there for not catching it. Oh.
That's tough.
That is tough.
So it's come down to this play for now. Only 1 timeout remains for Sotomayor. So if you're thinking, well, if worse comes to worse, no, they don't have all 3 of their timeouts. 120, 4th and 5 at the 33. Moon, shotgun, looking left, up the middle, has a seam, keeps, lets it go, incomplete! Looking in the direction of Angel Ramirez, the tight end, a big target. But the Cougars will take over with 1:13 and a 4-point lead. And talking to Coach John Geis throughout the week, asked if, hey, when you talk expectations, how do you speak of them, considering the talent you had coming back that got a lot of experience on the playoff team last year? He said, well, it sounds cliche, right? But we take it one step at a time, and we'll see if maybe that experience helps us down the line. As Isaiah Santillan takes the knee, and Clark is not going to bother stopping the clock. Coach Guy said, we'll see if that experience helps us down the line. Maybe not. Initially, it won't help us.
He did, yeah.
I think it's helped them tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've talked about it a little bit in this broadcast. That experience, I believe, is definitely paying off.
42 ticks remain on the scoreboard, but this one is over. The Clark Cougars, coming off back-to-back playoff seasons, a popular pick to make it to the postseason a third straight time, get 20-25 off on the right foot. Offense coming off the field as the clock goes under 20 seconds. Our score from the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic, Sotomayor 9, Clark 13, as the clock officially hits 0.
What?
Wonderful effort for a Clark team that was looking for, some might say, an upset. They got it. They might not call it an upset. However you define, it's a W. We're back with post-game reaction right here to wrap up the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic. Victorious Clark Cougars, a 13-9 victor over Sotomayor to open the 2025 season right here on the KSAT Pigskin Classic. RJ Marquez is on the field with the winning head coach, John Geist.
All right, guys, we're back on the field live right now at Ferris Stadium. Joining me now is Coach Geist. Congrats, Coach, on the big win here. What was going through your mind during that last drive?
I just wanted to stop. Needed the defense to step up. They were really tired. That's a really good football team. Very proud of the way our guys handled the end of the game.
Coach, what does this say about your program here that you guys are able to come in? And I don't know if there was maybe just a little bit of sort of this feeling about a rematch with Sotomayor after them beating you last year. Was that any bit of motivation, or what were just your thoughts?
Not really. We take everything one game at a time. This was the first game of the year. We wanted to come out, see what we needed to work on. We've got a lot of things we've got to get better at. That's just a first step. That's a really good football team. We knew that going in, and it was going to be a good test for us, and it was.
Coach, before we get to some of your offensive players, talk again about your defense and just throughout the game, making big stops, fourth down stops, and really kind of being a key to containing Sotomayor's offense.
Yeah, our defense did a really good job. We had to make some big adjustments to what we normally do. Our kids handled it well, and they stepped up and got it done when we needed them to.
Okay, let's talk about the offensive end. We're going to talk to Xavier here in just a bit. What about Elisha? It seemed like you guys really kind of leaned on those two young men throughout most of the second half.
Yeah, they both did an outstanding job, and we know they're really good football players, and if we can get them the ball, we try to.
Okay, Coach, congratulations on this win. Winners, the Clark Cougars of the 4th annual KSAT Pigskin Classic. We'll let you go ahead and celebrate with the team, Coach. Coach Geis right there with us after this hard-fought win right here at Ferris Stadium, and joining me right now is, we're just going to say, the player of the game. How you doing, Xavier?
Doing good.
Talk about what was going through your mind during that last series there, just your guys on defense being able to hold Sotomayor on that last drive.
Yeah, we was hoping that we was going to hold.
Ready?
I mean, that they was going to hold them.
We'll be on camera.
Yeah, basically, that's all.
And for you on offense, what was it like for the offensive side to kind of lean on you and Elijah a little bit in the second half?
Just push the ball. Make sure we get first downs. It's not about touchdowns. It's about first downs to finish the game.
All right, what does it say about the Clark Cougars, man, coming in here after Sotomayor beat you guys last year, coming in with a big win?
We wanted more this year.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Xavier Johnson right there. Xavier Kanovitz, joining me, the player of the game here for the 4th annual KSAT Pigskin Classic. All right, we're going to send things back up to the booth with Larry and also Hector. Another very, very eventful KSAT Pigskin Classic, guys.
I'll say that was kind of fun to cover, huh?
Absolutely fun. Love it.
It wouldn't be a KSAT Pigskin Classic if it wasn't a game like this. Boy, you saw it go back and forth, but in the end, Clark really showing that not only is talented, they're young, but they're also very, very good. And look out, everybody else, come 2025.
For sure. And you heard what Coach Geis said right now. His defense really stepped up tonight. And they did, because we know Soto, led by quarterback Moon, can really score the ball. So congratulations to Clark as a whole, but their defense really did a number today.
And avenging a 33-10 loss by the same Sotomayor Wildcats.
Yeah.
1 year later, it shows the growth for these Clark Cougars, a team that, again, is looking for playoff aspirations here in 2025. It's been fun, my guy.
Absolutely,
man.
Thank
you so much.
Yes.
So for Larry Ramirez, for all the wonderful folks here at Wick Productions, it's been a fantastic night at Ferris Stadium. A night in which the Clark Cougars opened the 2025 KSAT Pigskin Classic, presented by Christus Children's, with a come-from-behind 13-9 victory that was not decided until the final seconds. We're going to join KSAT in progress, and then after that, the fantastic crew at KSAT with the night beat at 10 o'clock, and then coverage of that huge Micah Parsons trade and high school football right here on KSAT 12. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.